My dad called me fat on my birthday and said I should start working on losing the baby weight. So I and my husband welcomed our first baby this past June via C-section. We are both full-time music teachers. I teach high school choir at one of the biggest AA high schools in our state, and he teaches elementary band at 7 elementary schools. Along with all of our concerts, choir tour, festivals, and all the rest of the stuff that comes with being a teacher, we also teach private lessons on the side to help with the low pay of our jobs and the current state of our economy. So any spare time we have, we make sure to spend it as a family with our son. I just celebrated my birthday yesterday, and my dad was in town to help with our home renovations and to celebrate with us. On the morning of my birthday, I was sitting enjoying a cup of coffee with my husband and son and opening gifts. No more than 5 minutes into the gift opening, my dad comes in and sits down in front of us saying, "Bear with me, I need to break into dad mode for a second," and then goes off about his own weight. Having heard this many times before, he's been insecure about his dad bod for as long as I can remember and constantly brings it up. I just nodded along until he started talking about us. He would say things like, "You know, I'm an old man that's overweight, but you two are young and overweight. You'll have an easier time losing weight. You don't want to be the heaviest in the family." I was floored and had no clue how to even respond. Continuing on, he goes, "If we all just took the summer to focus on getting skinny, we could all keep each other accountable." And then he turns to my husband and says, "You know, you're just like me, the family fluff." And then turns to me and says, "And if you want to have more kids, it'll be much harder to shed off that baby weight." At this point, I was fighting back tears. I have always had an amazing relationship with my dad, even with the constant weight comments. In high school, he would always say things like, "If you just lost 5 more pounds, you would be a perfect size." Mind you, I am just over 6 feet, and in high school was at an unhealthy weight due to comments like this and severe body dysmorphia. But after years of therapy, I was finally feeling comfortable in my body, especially after going through pregnancy and having a C-section. After his baby weight comment, he digressed and said, "I don't mean to hurt feelings, and your older sister told me to mind my own business, but I have a proposition for you both. I'll pay for you to go on Weight Watchers. Now you can either think on it and say yes, or I'll go back out the garage and you can tell me to fuck off behind my back. Whatever works." And then he got up and left. Once he was out the door, I started crying and my husband held me close. He did end up coming back in, seeing me cry, and apologized for hurting my feelings. Like I said previously, I am very tall and have always felt I carried my weight pretty well, but with work and a baby, I haven't had a whole lot of time to work out, but his comments still hurt. Here's where I need advice. How do I approach telling him that his comments were uncalled for? And I don't want to be focusing so much on appearance for the sake of my son and his mental health as he gets older. I adore my dad and don't want this conversation to be aggressive, but I'm not great at setting boundaries. I grew up in a divorced family that avoided conflict and had terrible communication skills on both sides. So I'm still learning to communicate my feelings with my family. So any advice would be greatly appreciated. Update 2 days later. I called my dad. Here's a rundown of how the conversation went. Me: "Hey dad, I hope that you're doing well. I was hoping we could chat about the conversation that happened on my birthday." Him: "Oh yes, thank goodness you're calling to bring this up. I feel like I shot myself in the foot. I am so sorry." Me: "I appreciate your apology and I know what you said came from a place of love. I just wanted to tell you that I have been working really hard to feel comfortable and love my body, especially after the pregnancy and C-section. Skinny doesn't necessarily mean healthy, and I feel good about myself right now, and I want to set a good example for my son and make sure he grows up in an environment where we have a healthy mindset about our bodies." Him: "I'm so glad that you feel comfortable and you love your body. That is what's the most important." And such an idiot for bringing it up. Sometimes we say things at parents that we mean to come off a different way, and I totally messed up. Dad, thank you so much for calling me and chatting about it. I feel as if a weight has been lifted off my back. I've been thinking about what I said all weekend. I love you so much. And then we went on about our days.